You're now listening to This Is Us with the Costa Group.
Today at the Costa Group, we're going to talk about your roster professionals, so accountants, bookkeepers, appraisers, lawyers, and the importance of these professionals to your mortgage. All right, so today at the Costa Group, we've decided to compile a couple of things that we've encountered this week, mainly dealing with I guess professionals, not per se in our field, more so indirectly, like your lawyers, your accountants, your bookkeepers, people, home inspectors, appraisers, right? Glenn, we dealt with appraisers, like an appraiser this week. We had to collaborate with an appraiser who was cooperative. But, I don't think clients understand when hiring lawyers or home inspectors, bookkeepers, I don't think they actually know exactly the right questions to ask if they are the right people for them. Right, Glenn?
Correct. Yeah, totally agree. Everybody's got a different perspective on things, right? When you get your accountants deals with a lot of different clientele. Your lawyer has a bunch of different, perspective on things. Deals with many different people out there.
For sure.
And if you work together, definitely you can help each other out in certain ways, and you can also send each other clients. And at the end of the day, you kind of develop these relationships over time, which are beneficial for everyone.
So, do you think Glenn or Zervain, the co-founder, he's here as well. So I didn't introduce him. Sorry. So it's Carmen Costa. You got Glenn Silva to my right. You have Zervain Lima, co-founder, to my left. We're going to throw our opinions in on this matter because personally, even yesterday, so fresh off the hop, we had a client who was stuck on the 401 and the lawyer didn't even close the deal that day. And these guys have their furniture in front of their house, and the lawyer just up and left and didn't even call them to say that, hey, this happened. They pretty much, were kiboshed right in front of their home. And I asked the client, I said, where did you get this lawyer? She had just called to interview. So Glenn, here's my question to you, and we talked about this intensely in the morning. What are your thoughts about referrals? Do you think that referrals serve a good purpose? Like if I say to you, do you think it's better to, hey, look through the phone book or Google it? Or do you think it's better to get a hot referral off of somebody knowing how that lawyer operates or that accountant or anybody directly involved in that transaction?
I believe that referrals are your number one source. You've already developed that relationship. You know the service is provided, as opposed to picking up a phone book. You don't really know what they do. They don't care about the client. When you get a referral, they want to prove themselves to the client, because the next person is going to get referred to them. They don't want to disappoint as well. So when you have a referral, you want to impress not only your client but your the referral source as well, right? At the end of the day, you're working together, so you don't want to disappoint anyone. So I think you go above and beyond, and you make it work for both parties and develop that relationship in the long run, which is beneficial for everybody.
I know. So let's rewind back to my client being in their driveway. He's on the phone with me. I get wind from my lender. They haven't closed. What the hell's going on? So we're in this scenario. It's 6:00 at night. Not a lawyer has called this client. My client's stuck on the freeway. His car's broken down. Now everything is going wrong. And the first question I asked was, where the hell did you get this friggin' lawyer? I did want to swear, but I'm not going to swear on this podcast. I'm like, but at the time I was swear. I was like, where did you get this lawyer? Well, I looked it up on Google, 5-star rating in the Kingston area, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, clearly there's no effing 5-star going on with this guy. When you're stuck on the freeway, he hasn't called you. My lender can't get a hold of him. I can't get a hold of this lawyer. Where the hell is this 5-star coming up with, right? So what do? I go into our mode of the Costa Group. We get a hotel for the guy. We pay for his hotel. We make sure that he's put up and he's taken care of. And I say, buddy, just relax. Go have a beer on us. Take the 24 hours. Tomorrow, I will close this. The next day, I call the lawyer. The lady says to me, he's on vacation. It is not my problem. What happens there, Glenn? What were your thoughts this morning when I said to you, imagine your employee saying, this is not my problem. You just left your client on the freeway not knowing what the hell's going on. What do you do, Glenn?
There was no relationship
we had this
there.
talk.
There was no relationship. There was no care. There was we care about our clients. At the end of the day, we want to make everybody happy. They become part of our families. You want to make it work for them. You develop these. You do anything. You go above and beyond, just like you would treat your brother and your sister. So there was no relationship there. They kind of jumped ship and left their client hanging, which
not even a phone call.
I would
5 o'clock. You're supposed to close that day, not even a phone call. So here is what my point is, and I'm going to throw this out there. We've built a roster. We built a roster with good lawyers. We built a roster with good accountants. We booked a roster. Our roster is a strong roster. And I believe wholeheartedly, Zervain, you could tie into this. I believe wholeheartedly that everybody should have a strong roster, especially when you're a mortgage broker and you're closing a $700,000 deal and the person just up and walks away. Like, that is probably the most scariest shit I've ever heard in my life. If my lender's telling me I can't get a hold of this client, that's probably the scariest thing I have to say. So here at the Costa Group, as I say to, Zervain, this was important to us when we started. We interviewed accountants. We interviewed lawyers. We interviewed home inspectors. We interviewed appraisers. We made sure we had everything perfect before our doors opened up. And even as a mortgage broker, I had this. And this is what we do here. We do it right? Well, no bullshit.
Yeah, so the first thing we do, we interview them, and we make sure that they give the client the treatment that we will give them. So if they don't qualify, we just don't deal with them. Because
Exactly.
You know what? We cannot hold them accountable. And that's the one thing we always want to do for the client. We want to do right for them. So in this case, they dropped the ball. And, somebody had to pick it up. And
we did. We did. We picked it up.
We did because
got
it's
them
just
a
the
hotel.
right thing to do.
We got them in because the guy's telling me he's going to sleep in his car. And I said, no, a part of the Costa Group family, you're not going to sleep in your car. I get you have no money. I get it. So we will email transfer you. Pick a hotel in the area. Let us know. We will put you up. We will take care of you. Have a beer on us. Have whatever. Just take the day off, right? That's what we decided. And this was like, I think, Glenn, you were like, so why did you do that? But it was like, it wasn't even, the poor guy's on the freeway. Like, he's screaming at the top, and I can hear
with
the
his
cars
kids.
go by. With his 4 kids. I'm sorry. I didn't even include that. He had 4 kids in the car. Like, this is complete ludicrous. And, the lawyer is nowhere to be found.
And
then,
then you get a reply from the secretary.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right.
I'm sorry, I can't help you.
Yeah. Who are you? I said, I'm the mortgage broker facilitating this because clearly somebody dropped the ball. And then she starts shifting blame. The instant I heard the shift blame, I said, all you're going to do for me today is you're going to fucking close this deal. That's it. I want my clients in that house. That's it. And that's what I said. So you know what? I can report now. It's like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. They're in their house. So that's all that mattered to me was that they got the keys. They're in their home. They're good. The Costa Group has done their job. But do we want to go through this in the future, Glenn?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. We don't. So I tell this and I express the importance of having professionals on your roster. So I'm going to drop the mic on that one. Let's move on to renovation season. This is the season for roofing, for your driveway, for any renovations possible. You're gonna want to do renovations, so you pick the right company. Going back to our roster, companies, when you're looking for contracting companies, that would probably be one of the most difficult thing to do, is find a good contractor. You look up Google. The other day I was looking up Google, and I think I've seen so many bad reviews on renovations companies. So, like, Glenn, your opinion on this. What do you think? Like, how would you try to find that good renovator?
Same thing. I was discussing with Tina yesterday. She's like, this industry, they don't get back to you, they don't call you. Again, it goes to the stamp of approval, level of service, referral sources. That's who you want to use. You want to use people who've done some work for somebody else or ask somebody on your street, neighbors, cousins, brothers, sisters. That's kind of where you want to go. You don't just pick up the phone, unless you really know nobody, but then that's a different kind of thing. So, and know your stuff, know what you're getting into, know the price point, get your estimates. I would recommend getting a few estimates as opposed to just having the one person come out and overcharge you. And and never disclose information that you've already had an estimate or that you.
Yeah, because then they kibosh you.
Yeah, or don't even tell
not
them
getting
that
you any
you're not
invoice.
using anybody else, right? So I just referred a plumber to one of my neighbors 2 doors down, and he was very good, very good. Said he showed up when he was supposed to show up. 3 p.m. was the time. He showed up, I think 5 to 3. Didn't overcharge her. She's a divorced lady who is, living with 2 kids, and she was worried about being overcharged and not knowing who to contact, and she already had contacted one plumber, which actually lives on our street, and he didn't even get back to her, didn't want to do the work, so he didn't even reply, didn't get back to her. But at the end of the day, this guy came out and came through for her, and she was satisfied with the service and the level of quality that he provided. Didn't overcharge her, didn't give her new equipment that
So
wasn't needed.
So let's talk about the charging. Do you think that you'd rather pay a little bit more to get better service?
I
You know,
think
like
that-
this whole discounted stuff, right? Does that not give you crappy service, right?
Absolutely. I think it goes in many trades. You pay for what you get. Same thing with food. Same thing with cars. You pay for what you get. So I tend to want to pay a little bit more to get that service level and that quality that you deserve in the end, right?
And the one thing is for sure, even if you're not a client of us, and if you ask for a referral or it's somebody that deals with us, we'll just be more than glad to give you that name and that number so you can get in touch with them. And rest assured that it will be a good quality service provided to you.
So let's tie into the whole mortgage thing. There's always options for the renovations, construction loan that you're doing. You don't always have to look at, breaking your mortgage. There's always other options that you can do. So don't forget, if you do have any questions regarding renovations, regarding doing anything, we're more than happy to run a scenario for you, doing all of that stuff for you. So, Glenn, how are you feeling about this whole yoga on Wednesday, man? How are you feeling?
I totally feel great. The mental game is huge in our industry, and to satisfy yourself, not only yourself and everybody around you, you kind of become an entire different person. Your R&R, your relaxation, the way you react to certain situations, to high-level stress,
sure.
it totally brings you to the next level in those scenarios, and totally pumped. Probably will continue doing it afterwards, and day to day I kind of sit and reflect and meditate for 5-10 minutes a day, and
That's awesome.
it's unreal how you feel, whether it's morning or night. I don't know which one I like better. Night because you sleep better,
talked
morning
about
because
this.
morning because you kind of
You know what? I'm a
pumped.
morning person. At night, I find it's my kids' time. So I'm like, I don't want to take away from the kids. So I honestly really enjoy, and I know Zervain, you're like, are you sleeping? And it's like, no, I'm meditating, right? I'm trying to go through yesterday, trying to figure out. So I think honestly the yoga is going to serve hand in hand with everybody here. Zervain, your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. I think it's brought us closer, and we are definitely more excited to be around each other. It's because it's not just about work. It's different atmosphere altogether. So we just have a good time, which it's rare to see nowadays, bonding with your team. And in this case, that's what we do. We just all around, enjoy.
That's awesome. All right. Well, I think that's all for this segment. So I'm basically going to hand it over to absolutely nobody but myself. So